All right, let us begin with the invocation. Saraswate Namastubhyam Bharade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Mande Jagadgurum Krishnam Mande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Yes. I would request Chitraji to give a brief summary of what we saw last. We can form the link and move ahead. And before we begin, we will look at the question raised by Shashiji. Yes, please.
Yes, the previous session was the bond of karma. So Krishna explains Arjuna that how one can become free from the karma bandhanas, and Lord Krishna himself is the biggest example for that because he performed his duties without getting attached to those karma bandhanas. And the karma bandhanas are something that are impartial; it is applicable for all beings. And Krishna explains about the swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatopayat. Smallest actions done in the right manner can protect from great dangers. So any small action could be the presence of mind, and which can avert great dangers and hence prevent great consequences. And Krishna explains that there are two kinds of intelligence or understanding people perceive. The higher understanding is that perceives all as one, and the lower understanding is something that is driven by desires and that creates a division. It's just like a tree with countless branches. And some of these lower mind codes, they go on to misquote the Vedas and the Shastras because of their limited knowledge that they possess, and yet they try to prove how their interpretation is correct and dismiss the aspect of divinity. And Krishna explains that how folks are usually stuck in the cycle of expectation of returns for a material gain, and for every offering that they make, they expect something in return. So this is fueled by a never-ending desire cycle that keeps driving them, and hence they are never content. And one has to remember that the indriyas serve as the guardian of our body. So when they are in control, one does not go in astray. So these are some of the important things that we saw in the previous class.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chitraji. And I think taking forward to Shashiji's question, our body is said to be a temple of nine gates. So, as if you see Adi Shankaracharya in the Shiva Manas Puja, he says, Prana Shariram Gruham. The Sharira or body is considered a home. For what? For prana, for the prana. Or we can say for the Chaitya Purush, for the psychic being, for the divine. So this body is considered as a vessel. Many times we are thinking we are human beings having a spiritual experience, but there's a beautiful quote which says we are actually spiritual beings having a human experience. We are going through these different cycles, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vadhi, or Vyadhi, or Kaumara, Yauvana, Jara, old age, childhood, youth. All these are cycles which something inside is witnessing as a sakshi or a witness, watching all these happening. So the now and there is one more analogy is that of a temple. There are nine gates to this temple, like the nine openings of our body. And through this only it is said that from one of the divine enters and leaves through these gates. So many times in the last moments of a person, you can probably identify. Sometimes some people go out through their eyes with their eyes wide open. Some go with their wide mouth open. So something like that. This one of these gates only the divine leaves. So what is it? It is advised. Krishna is very naughty. Bal Krishna comes inside, quickly shut all the gates with sadhana, with tapasya. Don't allow him to run away. He will be inside, and when Krishna is inside, you are going to experience what all the leelas that existed in Vrindavan, they will start happening in your life as well. So that is probably what Shashiji is. That is the analogy of the temple of Nine Gate. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, the other openings, the ears, all of them summarizing it to be the gates. Because it is said the Indriyas only trouble a person. I saw something I did not like. I saw my friend talking to another person who is not my friend. Started the entire frustration loop inside, because how did he see he's talking? My mind starts imagining that this person must be talking against me. Sometimes I hear something, and that news. Sometimes we are very peaceful. Everything is happening nice. Suddenly, out of nowhere, we get a call or we just get a message, and some word falls into our ear, and that's it. So these are the gates. These are the gates for disturbances also, to lose our poise also. So it is better to keep them shut. Like now, for example, Bharat is now, it has entry points of terrorists, isn't it? Infiltration points are now being sealed very firmly, because now there's going to be an increased chance and possibility. So we are all going to be extra alert. So a sadhak is also extra alert at all times, because he does not, or she does not want that any of the infiltration of what we call the lower forces to take place. And these forces act through desires. Desires come because of our swartha, or that is in nature, human nature. We don't have to run after the ego, because it is our ego only which is there in seeing somebody else's ego. Instead of that, let us try to purify and become quiet and understand that yes, through desires. And pursuit of desire is not required at all, because one desire gets completed, keeps an empty feeling inside, leads to another. Somebody who is on a two-wheeler will walking, I mean, walking on the road says, "Oh, if I had a cycle, look at that. That man is going on a cycle. If I got a cycle, I'll feel so happy." The one on the cycle is thinking he wants a motorcycle. The one on the motorcycle wants a properly a cruiser one or a different racing bike. And the one on the bike wants something which is like I want a car. Another one wants a luxury car, wants a driver, wants to go by plane. Another one wants a chartered flight. And then there is that person who comes with this Z plus security. He gets down and he's all so many protocols, and he sees one man walking on the road. And he says, "Ah, yeah, it's so nice if I can walk alone freely without any trouble. I can go by foot." Because nowhere these desires will ever end. And desires are the cause of depression also. My desires, dil hai chota sa choti si asha. The smallest of desires is sufficient to cause depression. At least this one thing also I wanted, that also cannot be fulfilled. God, you have betrayed me. My friend has betrayed me. My father has betrayed me. My mother has betrayed. Sister, or stranger. We don't need any particular relation also. It is the desire which causes the trouble, and person running after desires is never going to experience trupti. That is very clearly said by Krishna. And that is why karma bandhanas get us more and more trapped. These bandhanas only come from this karma only, they start. And since the Krishna offers a way to become free from the traps of karma bandhana, is stop running after your desires. Do your action as a duty, not with the expectation of something in result. I mean, some result coming only if I get this. I don't think anybody needs to have a rule to uphold the principles of humanity, isn't it? Do we need a law? We see somebody fallen down. Do we need a law to tell us, or somebody to guide us and tell us that somebody needs help, we can try to do something? Or somewhere, these are all certain inner simple principles of life which cannot be taught anywhere else. It comes from within. And when we realize that, when we do it in a niswartha manner, it becomes there's a lot of difference. A friend of mine, he went to Canada, and he was a wonderful physiotherapist who had magical hands. Little children with special needs he would touch, and they would respond so well. Parents would all feel so happy. And when he went to Canada, everywhere he said it was all about the monetary aspect. He's not able to feel the service aspect. That was what he was saying. Again, I'm not generalizing it, but he just shared his experience. He said there was somebody wanting some help. He saw someone struggling to lift something. He just went there and he helped that person. Immediately in return, that person pulled out a note and he gave it to him for helping. He was so shocked. He was so sad. He said, I don't equate my work with some money, this is not to be valued like this." And he returned that money. And the other person was looking at him as if he's surprised. Why didn't you take it? And he's not understanding. Well, this is Niswartha. And Niswartha actions are the actions which will free us, which will liberate us. And that we have to understand what is that. Means smallest individual aham has to be sacrificed towards the divine aham of aham brahmasmi. That one of that divine, you surrender to the divine, do everything for the divine. Slowly the path becomes easier. Arjuna, instead of getting frustrated about his own outer situation, He had a Sarathi, he had a guide. He just had to surrender to his guide and follow the instructions. It would have been much, much easier. But then again, his Sarathi only wanted to tell all of us the Gita, so it is good. Arjuna is not immediately surrendering. We are getting the chance to study and hear more about what Krishna has told him. So, this is what we saw. So, this is the simplest thing. If your mind is, if you know, like, we'll just look at the 44th shloka once more. That is where we stopped and we continue. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधौ न विधीयते. The fruits of actions, their senses are held, sway, allured, their fickle minds meekly wander away. Such people whose intelligence is thus unfocused never attain contentment and are always depressed. So this person who is, it is said, who is a slave of the desire, he is the slave of the world. And that person who has made desire the slave, that person is the Raja or the Rani or the ruler of the world because no desire can bind a person. Many times we are manipulated by our desires only, isn't it? Somebody finds out our desire, we want this, that's it. They have got the strings and we become their puppets, whatever they want. Because what even in corporate world, boss says, I will recommend your name in the next board meeting for a promotion and appraisal. Immediately, because he knows this person wants an appraisal for XYZ reason, maybe genuine, may not be genuine, or some very urgent reason, whatever it may be. But this person has given his sutra to somebody else's hand. That person has understood if I use this word, he will work overtime also, he will work on weekends also. And so this person keeps on working when everybody tells, what are you doing? Take some time out. He says, no, 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 board meeting. But there is never going to be a board meeting. But you see, this person has just used one word and this person has become like a puppet for it because of his desire. Instead, I know of a person who said his boss was 100% going to badmouth him and ensure that he is kicked out of this organization. That is what his plan was. But in the meeting, he perfectly displayed certain figures and his presentation was so good that the senior to his boss, he actually appreciated his work and his boss had to appreciate and say, yes, yes, I have only supported this person. Because that was the power of his karma. That is how it should be, not driven by desires. We need to just focus on that. Otherwise, we are going to open the doors to depression in our life. We will not want any of this to happen to us. So we have to become free. When we are free, we are ready to receive. Receive knowledge from whom? From the divine directly. How did our yogis receive the knowledge? In their quietude, in the inner calm, they received intuition, they got direction, they got glimpses. Most of these yogis in many parts of India, they have not studied Shastras, many of them. Some of them are in the rural areas. They had a chance to study the, ancient texts. But they were realized souls and what they spoke resonated in the ancient texts. The Shishyas are finding references now. कि, oh, see, this Guru told 100 years before. This is corresponding with another text. Another person, Damliji says, Yah janati sah na janati. Somebody who knows does not know. And somebody who does not know has the potential for knowing. When he said that first, it took me a little while because my head was a little thick. It did not enter only. But sometime later, I was shocked. Kena Upanishad is talking about a similar principle. Suddenly, the Upanishad becomes easy. So, this realization, when it comes to us, we become the adhikaris. And for that realization, it's not by bookish knowledge. It is not by memorizing only. It is not by intellect. This realization comes when you are worthy and you are ready to command it. And the simplest way is to become poised. That is what here Krishna is telling Arjuna. Use this as an opportunity to rise in consciousness instead of becoming, depressed because of your emotions towards your own near and dear ones. Let us see. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Nistraikunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Niryogakshema Atmavan. O Arjuna, it is in the Vedas that the truth is contained. The threefold qualities within man are explained. The true state wherein every desire is conquered, and the net non dual consciousness that is acquired. Means what is that non-dual consciousness? Anybody? You can just share. What do you think could this be? Because Krishna says that the truth is present in the Vedas. It has been told how the way, the path to realization, that state where no desire is going to trouble. Sometimes people are so easily manipulated, just like say desire can be anything, any small thing also. When you have conquered every desire, then you are worthy of receiving a higher knowledge. And what is this non-dual consciousness? Anybody, if you would like to just share? Nirdvando, the dvandva, the divide. Everywhere there is a divide. No, inner life, outer life, big divide. Arjuna is seeing practicality and ideality collapsing everywhere. He says, no, I don't see any. What is practical is not ideal at all. Many people read very good texts and they appear like they are themselves the great Pandits and Shastris while they are reading the texts or while they are meditating. You see, oh my God, this person looks like Krishna only. Meditation over, this person looks like Ravana. Immediately changes happen because the balance is not there, the inner and the outer. But this nirdvandva state or non-dual consciousness, what can this be? Anybody, if you can just share some insights on this, then we can probably go closer to our topic is the terrestrial realization, meaning a realization that can be probably acquired now, not in some other birth, not future times, not in other loka also. In this loka, in this bhuloka, in this very experience of life itself, there is a possibility. Before we go there, can someone tell me what could this non-dual consciousness imply? Anybody?
Mm. You're talking about non-dual realization, did you say?
Yes. Yes, Steve. Yes. What is
So
that?
that I think it would mean that there is no difference between the outer world and the inner world.
Hmm. Yes, no difference between the outer world and the inner world, and also the difference, the line of division between the divine and the mortal, Nara and Narayana. That line itself is getting erased. Oneness has been achieved. Means Svena Swasmin Swayam Brahma, Swe Mahimni Swanubhuta. That is the knowledge, that is the highest knowledge of truth, where inside of me is that same highest realization. What they call Brahma Vidya in the Upanishads. No? That realization can be got, and Krishna is saying it can be got by understanding this basic principle of not running after desires. Anybody, is this appealing or is it logical? Or okay, take care, I'm not running after desires. Say I have a lot of desire for chocolate. Now I've stopped eating chocolates. Will I get Brahma Gyan because of this, by virtue of this? How is it practically possible? Not running after desire, giving us a higher realization. Somebody may say it's a risky aspect. You will know your quota of chocolates will stop if you stop your desires for that. But how and how can it make a difference? If we are trying to look at a practical aspect of this.
I don't know
Yes.
if this is correct or not, but could it
Yeah.
be the fact that one can take it or leave it, to have that control, to say, I can take it or I can leave it?
Yeah.
Makes no difference to me.
No difference. Yes. Yes. Means there's no excess desire if I get it or if I don't get it. I am in that state of oneness. That poise is not disturbed. That means I'm not going to get excited. Otherwise, little children, they just hear the sound of some rapper and they immediately leave all the work and they go running. What is it? When am I going to get? Same thing in the spiritual path also. Suddenly, some person gets a little bit realization. It's not a full realization, but little realization. So, I have got it. Now I am like this. A person was claiming that his Kundalini has got awakened. He was very high. Turns out that person had hypoglycemia, but he did not realize that. So somebody had to, it was like he had to be admitted, and then somebody had to tell him. So that when you are not too excited, not too attached, and not having a state of repulsion, also, that is the poise towards little objects also. Then you are ready. You're not going to be driven. Dr. Vana wants to add something. Yes, please.
Yeah,
Yes,
actually,
ma'am.
this small experience of how oneness with a simple minds is possible than the dual consciousnesses. there is a place where patients take tea from the tea stall, and we also some once in a while go there to take the tea. So we see
Okay.
that poor patients, relatives, and all also take tea from the same shop, Ponlet shop, and
Hmm.
there was a small uh, puppies around, hungry
Okay.
puppies, and
Okay.
that lady has such a beautiful thing that she put a little bit of her tea, cooled it down for him, and put
Ha,
it to him. There is no
ha.
relative, nothing. But it's a beautiful
Right.
oneness I felt. I was
Yeah.
thinking two times how these people will be fed, how will they eating. I'm just thinking only. But this simple girl, lady, she just showed that oneness. That I am drinking, you also drink. This is a simple
Ha.
way of practicing oneness. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wanted to
Thank
share
you,
it.
Dr.
Thank you.
Bhavani. That is a beautiful, means there is no, the bhed only. Patient is there, doctor is there, animal is also there. There is no difference at all when you are seeing on the level of the spirit. And that is the oneness. We have to realize it would be beautiful. Life's experience would, like, say, it will be so nice. Like how the joy of giving somebody else what? Not something which is extra, not something which is what you don't want. That also people give. No? Give to animals because I can't eat or I don't want it. That is what people do sometimes. But here, it is giving something which is important to you, and you're giving it with the same love. That is the what we call the higher type of tyaga, and that is a joy. The joy of giving comes there, and it is probably, I think, as Dr. Bhavanaji says, one a very short, small instance which can actually allow us to get a higher realization. We saw the flux of karma binding each of us, and we do not understand which karma is leading to what. And we don't have to sit and calculate, isn't it? I gave this puppy a biscuit, so I'm going to get something in return. It's almost people try to as if they have some divine account and they're going to get brownie points because I did this sadhana, so I must get this. There's a meter. And they sometimes do their own calculation. Now, if they're going to do all the calculation, what is Chitra Gupta going to be doing? The Papa and Punya after our life, that's his job. Our divine accountant, let him do the work. No, here everybody thinks I need to do this. Let me go and give somebody this so that this will happen. Everywhere there is a swartha. So you are not free. You are bound. The our Kathopanishad also talks about the same thing. It begins with a young boy, Nachiketa is going and telling his father, who is doing a great yajna, who is a great rishi himself. And he goes to his father and says, because he sees his father is giving donation of cows which are not capable of giving milk to the poor, because it has been prescribed that when you are doing this yajna, you have to give this dana should be done, this type of dana also is to be done. And so he's giving this. And like most households, father son dialogues don't happen so freely. So here he goes. And now he finds the most funny way of asking his father, that showing that this is not right. He says, Father, whom will you give me? He asks once, he asks twice. And the third time he asks, father gets annoyed and he says, I'll give to Yama, probably the Vedic reference of a annoyed father asking a son to go to hell. I'll go to Yama. Of course, Yama is different here. Yamaloka is the loka of the exalted ones. So the young Nachiketas is not disturbed by his father's actions also or words also. He says, maybe the divine wants something. This is my karma. I will walk. Let me walk. And he goes directly to with his yogic prowess. And that is the entire, we can say this, the entire symbolism behind it of how complete detachment allows the young boy to rise to such a consciousness where even Yama also is a little bit worried. Oh my God, I hope Nachiketas don't get angry or annoyed with me that I kept you waiting outside. Come, I shall grant you three boons. How is that possible? Well, this is the karma. That is the power of our karma, and that is why our bhuloka or our earth is a very special place, because this is the final ground for manifestation. This is the ground where transformation takes place at a very rapid rate. This is the ground where they say the devas take birth on the bhuloka. They aspire because it is like fastest way to burn karmas. There are other lokas. There are other lokas in this in the Gita also. We'll see mention of them. There is a Chandra loka. There is a loka of the Pitars. Then there are so many such lokas. Brahma Loka is there. But this Bhuloka is something special. Here we can actually burn our karmas. It's like a special place. And that is why realization also is something which we must aspire for in this world. Let us see this shloka. Yavan artha udapani sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanata. Just as the usefulness of water in a well is all encompassed in a reservoir replete, so too is all the Vedic knowledge as well, known to him who has self realization complete. This is so easy, this is so simple, it's something which is mind blowing also. Krishna says, just as the usefulness of water in a well is all encompassed in a reservoir replete. Say you are thirsty and you want water. You want a glass of water. Does it matter from where you are getting it, or if I'm getting it from a pot, or I'm getting it from a 2 liter bottle, or I'm getting it from a 5 liter bottle, or a 10 liter? I need 200 ml. So if I need 200 ml, what I am concerned with is that only, isn't it? My requirement can be fulfilled with that itself. Same way, Krishna is telling here. All the Vedic knowledge, the entire knowledge of the Vedas is contained inside of that individual who has got the self realization. Somebody who has got the self realization. The Vedic Shastras will confirm your realizations. The Shastras will only reaffirm what you have understood because the Shastras have come from where? From the divine directly. And when you realize the divine, what more is needed? Where is the difference? Tukaram had said, I went to see God, I didn't know when I became. He had the chance to go Sadeha Vaikuntha. It is very interesting. Sant Tukaram and so many such awakened ones, they are merged into a divine consciousness. It was something which is quite unbelievable, but this is possible for every human being. Go across the length and breadth of Bharat. You will see realized souls in abundance. So many of them, different places. It is just how are they experiencing it? How are they understanding it? Well, they are connecting with that source. The same source which is a perennial source. The same source which was there 5,000 plus years ago, even is there now. So many, you can say, Mughal invaders came and tried to destroy, isn't it, our source of wisdom? They destroyed the texts. A lot of Upanishads got burned, destroyed so much that we don't even know the names of many Upanishads today. But did they destroy Brahma Vidya? They were fools. They were thinking it is there in the books. The books you destroy, the books they will not receive. But now you see, they connected the yogis and all of them. They have a great Wi-Fi access to the divine only. Directly they receive from there. So what if some texts have got lost? Newer texts will appear. Newer Upanishads will come. New Veds also may appear when the consciousness rises. So this realization is what Krishna is speaking about here. He says this Vedic realization is well known to him who has got the self-realization complete. Somebody who has got the self-realization, that person can understand. And it is true. It is true. For instance, you study the Gita, you understand it, and then you try to just ask Krishna only to teach you some Vedic Sukta. Ask Krishna. Try that. But sincerely, you must sincerely ask. And then you will start seeing beautiful rhythms inside of those suktas itself. Any sukta, whichever is connecting to you. So many devas are there in the Rig Veda. Indra, Varuna, Mitra, Bhaga, Saraswati, Aryaman, all of them. So many deities are there. Connected anybody. Agni also. Just see the first sukta. Agnim me purohitam. We had a very nice experience once where a lot of participants who had studied the Gita began giving Gita reference for the Veda. Normally, Veda references are given in commentaries on the Gita, but this was the other way around because this is there in the Gita. This is there here. This understanding can come. So this aspect of realization possible to all of us. This is a realization, and this possibility should not be negated. That is the entire purpose of the Gita. So can we not just probably debate on this for you know, or at least ponder over this, a possibility of a yes, Shashiji, please.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a question to ask. As you
Yeah.
said, that our soul is the witness of what's going through our life, and
Right.
as we go on to improve ourselves, move forward
Hmm.
towards self-realization, then which part of us is getting this experience? As the soul is just the witness, it's got all the information, it's the wise one, then
Yeah.
which part of us is
Now the
evolving?
Ji, there's a Jivatman. The Jivatman is the Atman which has come into a human being, which is an Ansha of the Paramatman or the Supreme One. This Jivatman has entered with a purpose and it has got layers and layers of coatings. Basically, what we are doing in sadhana is not that we are learning something new, we are actually removing these coatings. We are connecting a lot of dots which have not got connected, and those they are not connecting because of different probably sanskaras. So when we start moving closer, then that bhed, what is the Paramatman, what is the Jivatman, where is it? Ekameva dvitiyam brahma sada sada rupam sada sada titam. It is eternal. You will just like the drop is suddenly going to realize its oneness with the ocean. My boundary which I am keeping is only liberating me. So this is what we can say is considered a Vedantic approach of realization. But Krishna's realization is something very interesting in the sense Krishna is not asking Arjuna to leave the battle, no, leave the world. Means it is like the world is the play of forces there. It is very easy to withdraw, to renounce everything and go. But here, this is something which Krishna is asking about a terrestrial realization. That is something which we are going to be looking at today. Means how practical do you think it is possible? Is it possible also for us to get a realization of that type in this birth? Anybody? The Buddha says we are
Well,
a spark away from realization.
there
Yes,
are
please, Shashi.
there are a lot of realized souls who've left the knowledge. If we follow in their footsteps, obviously we'd always need a mentor who themselves
Okay.
are
Yeah.
on that path. Then they would be able to help us go on that path
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That is true.
eventually arrive at our destination. But it's the journey that matters, because that journey is going to teach us how to
Yeah.
get to the destination. But we can't
Yes.
always do it without help. We always
We
need
need a
help.
help. They say, Guru
Yes.
bina jnana kahan se paऊं? Without the Guru, where will the knowledge come? Without the Margadarshan, without the direction. That is true. But many times we feel, isn't it? We are too far away from realization. How am I going to get a realization? Or this birth to nahi jamega. It will take some more time, maybe some more births. These kind of thoughts do come in, isn't it? Many times. We feel that this is not going to happen, and that is exactly what we have to pull ourselves out of, because that is only preventing us. Means we must take it upon us, it must become our sole preoccupation, that I will get the realization. Sakshatkar is my birthright. I shall have it. I shall experience freedom. Where? Where in this body? In this body. How can you experience it in this body? This body is limited. It has diseases. It has difficulties. It has so many emotional troubles, so many mental, physical, all vital, all such kinds of, so many upheavals take place. In this, is it possible? As I think Shashiri said, there are the gurus. There are those who have walked ahead. Let us let us try to hold them as our idols. And Krishna also in the Gita is asking us to become the ones, realized it, not just because you see, a lot of people worship the Gita, but they don't read the Gita at all. They say, no, this is very, I do so much for the Gita. Now, are we going to do something for the Gita or for Krishna who is doing everything in the world? Okay, can a human being do something for the divine? Other than becoming an instrument, there's nothing else. Like there was one person during the COVID time, because of COVID, all the systems had fallen apart. So we had that is how our Krishna's Butter project for kids and then adults also started. This person said, last 4 years I have been carrying a Gita with me on the aeroplane because I travel a lot with work because of my work, and this was gifted to me by my father. I carry it because if something happens in my plane, at least I have the Gita with me. But he's not opened it. He's not opened it at all. So only during COVID time, he said, "This is the first time I have read all 700 shlokas through the workshop. This is the first time. I don't know if it was the last time because I'm not in touch with him." But this is how many times we walk away. We walk away because of our mind, because of the limitations. And that is exactly what Gita is going to keep talking to us about in all 18 chapters. Krishna is going to make it practical. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga. He is going to tell how in every kshetra, whichever field you might be in, material, spiritual, there's no difference. There is no line dividing this. What is material is also spiritual. Matter, as Sri Aurobindo says, matter shall reveal the spirit's face. In Savitri, there is a line there. Means in the material world, a spiritual realization can be got. So something like that, instead of running away from the truth or running away sometimes because we are scared of ourselves only, we are running away from it. And so we are turning away from the realization. Krishna is inviting us to a journey of experiencing the bliss. Sri Aurobindo in his Upanishad has described it so beautifully. It is the ahankar which makes a person feel that I cannot experience the truth. I am weak. I am so bad. I am not having any divinity in me. Or sometimes God is getting happy by troubling me. This is also sometimes the dialogues which people have with the divine, and they prevent a person from realizing. Really, actually, Shashi, there was one person who she had a horrible experience of her husband passing away in the mandap of her ishta, and then everybody gave her a bad name. Like in the the south, sometimes we do have certain very regressive tactics at that time. I'm not just saying only south, of course, north, south, east, west, India, outside India, everywhere human beings are there. We are not having highest consciousness at all times. But this particular person, she shared her own personal experience. So for years, and she just had to incur the debts of her husband she has not spent time with also. And the in-laws were expecting her to pay, and she went abroad, and every day she went to the temple just talking, and the talk was not a good dialogue. It was an angry one where she was saying, "You're happy? What is this? What is this?" And then suddenly, after a period of time, so one random day, she got a message from her in-laws. They said, "Stop sending money. We don't need it." They felt guilty, or they must have got some realization, or they must have felt they have been so heartless. It took so much time for that tube light to burn. But when they told that, and she, for the first day, went to the temple, and then she said she had a slight amount of gratitude. She just said, "Maybe you're not that heartless." And at that moment, the pujari came and gave her the mala which was put on the divine. He said, "I felt I have to give it to you." And that was where her, eyes suddenly just like a dam has been released. No, all the water started flowing, and that was her transformation of her life. Means, you see, this is something like that. It happens. We don't realize it sometimes. Means people, the truth is in front of us, but we are only walking away from it. A person wanted to work in the service sector for so many years, took 17 years to take that decision to enter into that. 17 years, just say, I don't know what happened. 17 years, I was not having peaceful sleep. It was a decision which was just in front of her. She could have taken that. She says, I do not know what was keeping me. Now life has changed completely. She says, I don't earn that much, how much I used to earn. My social circle has suddenly changed. All my friends who used to look at me from the level of my salary suddenly stopped talking to me. I've got a different circle. But she says, every day I'm sleeping peacefully. What is that? That is a trupti, no? Trupti of following swadharma, following, we say, swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. There is no greater danger than forsaking our swadharma. So we have to understand it. And if we see this particular adhyaya, Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, Arjuna, hey, you are a warrior. Write your poetry and philosophy afterwards. Write ghazals if you want. After the battle is over. Now don't cry. Now don't weep. Now is the time to stand up, keep your emotions aside. But Arjuna is not ready because that is the strong pull of the Indriyas. the strong pull of sanskaras, the strong pull of attachment. That is why, without, sometimes it is said, without Guru Krupa, detachment also becomes difficult. Knowledge also becomes difficult without Guru Krupa or without Isha Krupa. For example, you don't have, somebody will get worried, I don't have a Guru, what will I do? Krishna Mande Jagat Guru, Aradhya as your Guru, hold your Aradhya as a Guru and experience it. But seek that grace, and only those who seek can get it. So we must all take it up, take it as our personal preoccupation that irrespective of what other roles we do in life, that we must try, a day must come in this birth. Ihaiva, Krishna says, in this world itself, we will try to get that realization. Then it is going to be beautiful. Life becomes what they call a Leela. You watch the game, you see, you talk about somebody, that person suddenly comes as if you have got some summoning charm capacity to bring people suddenly from nowhere. Suddenly contacts start helping things. When divine works have to happen, all falls in place. As Sri Aurobindo says, all can be possible when the God touch is there. So to experience that, we must try. And for that, we have to be very, very sincere. Let us look at the
I
47th shloka. Yes, Ji.
I
Yes, please,
just
Shashi.
because you recounted the story of the lady who goes to the
Yeah.
temple, I just
Yes,
wanted to
please.
tell you I've got a friend.
Hmm.
She once told me, we were talking just generally going back a few years about who she worships, etc. And she said, "Oh, you know what? You must never worship Lord Krishna." And I said, "Why not?" She said, "Oh, he really puts you through your paces. He never answers your prayers. He really makes life hard." I said, "Well, he's conversing with you then, isn't he?" But she said, "He's very naughty. He never gives things very easily." I said, "Well, he's not silly, is he? If he's going to give you everything you ask for," I said, "you're not going to go towards him. You're going away from him, aren't you? So he's going to keep you as close as possible by not giving you everything you ask because he knows best." So she says, "No, you mustn't worship him."
Yeah.
I just
These
thought
are
I'd
all,
share
these are
that
all,
with you.
this is the dvandva, no? This is the divide, isn't it, in consciousness
Yeah,
of a person. Means this God
he's
is going to give
naughty.
me. He is
Yeah,
naughty. This person is not naughty. This God is not.
yeah, yeah.
The young boy, I remember after just high school, he said, I'm doing so much sadhana and my Aradhya is stronger than your Aradhya. I said, Acha, where is the wrestling match? Let's go. I would love to watch who is going to win, who is giving the tickets. What is it? But it is the mind which divides. Just the same thing, Krishna and Shiva. Somebody reads the Gita, they will say, Krishna has told Rudranam Shankaraschasmi. Among Rudras, I am Shankara. Now it is heartburn for somebody who has Dvandva, no? No, no, how dare you say my Shiva is your Krishna? Because you don't understand that Dvaita is there. I had gone in Pondicherry only. We have a very nice, in one road we have temple for Shiva also and for Krishna also. Perumal Koil is also there and Shiva Koil is there, temple. And my Guruji told me go get bilva leaves because you don't see bilva trees anywhere in the city nowadays. Everywhere concrete jungles only. So the only place I could probably get it was in the Shiva temple. So I went with the purpose of getting the leaves for Ayurvedic work, not for anything else. But then I went to the temple of Krishna by mistake first, because that time I didn't know also. Yeah, this is Perumal Koil. So I went and said, give me bilva leaves. The person reacted as if I have done blasphemy. You have come to Perumal temple and you have asked Shiva. And I was like, very sorry, I will not come here again for this. I'll go there. Go, go. And that person asked me, who was it? The person who was selling the leaves only. Then she was having tulsi leaves, not this. But how dare you come here and ask? Now, this daring, I don't think both Krishna and Shiva must be sitting and laughing at this together. Look at this. And they must be laughing at it, saying that the ignorance only, isn't it? But that is the dvandva which prevents us from realizing. We don't realize what type of dvandvas we create. Mine, yours. It starts from there. My Aradhya, your Aradhya. My this, that is another person's. This is my dear friend, that is not my dear friend. Everywhere. And so we have to first rise to that position. And one of the ways is mentioned in this particular shloka, which is very famous. Somebody who has not read the Gita also will know the shloka in India. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भूर्मा te sango स्वकर्मणि. What is its meaning? If you ask all of those people who know this slokas, each person will give a new meaning for it. I remember one person who's very close, an elder in my family. He said, "What has Krishna told in the Gita?" I said, "I don't know. Please tell me," because he wanted to tell me. So I don't know. Please tell. He said, "He has told only one thing." Okay, what is it? He just said the shloka. And then he interpreted it as in a very interesting way. He says, "You should ask for fruits, not for yourself. For others, you should have desires for fruits." I was like, "Thank you." Is it not a desire? I did not ask him because that is his state of mind. He doesn't want to change. But running after fruits is the biggest problem, biggest liability. All investments are subject to market risk, something like that. All of your desires are subject to the risk of karma bandhanas. You are going to get trapped in your desire. Is pure love full of desire, or is pure love desireless? True love, divine love, mother's love for children. Is it with desires of returns?
If there is pure love, there's no desire left because you got everything you want.
Yes, 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 isn't it? Otherwise,
Yeah.
mothers would go, I made six aloo parathas today in her accounting note. My son has eaten these many aloo parathas. I have to get this in return by the end of, say, 50 or 60. I will get a bill only. And imagine if a son goes or daughter goes to the mother and says, "See, you have done so much for me. Here, I'm repaying it." If I did that to my mother, I think she'll give me one tight slap on the because it is actually priceless. The things that you do out of love, they are not, love is not a commodity which can be exchanged. It is not some kind of transaction. Many times people do business in the name of coming together. I have this is this, let us do this will have the exchange. That is not true. And same is the case with every action. If you can start doing the action without the expectation of getting something in result, do it purely for the sake of doing it right, because that way you will not get bound. The best example I can think of is the farmer only just close to our unit. He was growing sesame seeds. And I had an eye on the sesame seeds because I need the sesame seeds for our manufacturing. We need to get the oil out of it. So I was thinking I will probably get it from him. I will purchase, and I was so happy looking at it grow so high. It was like growing so nicely. And suddenly there was a little bit of rain, untimely rain, and beautiful field. So many of these plants just dropped down. And then when I went to him asking, "Can I get some?" He said, "What? I have only enough to take for my home now. Next year I may not be putting this crop also." I said, "Oh, but look, what about the loss that you have faced?" He said, "That is God's wish." I was surprised because I myself, maybe I had the desire of using it, so I am feeling more sad for him because I feel I have lost. But here he says, this is the way of farming, he says. He has understood it. It has become ingrained in his consciousness. He says sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It is all the divine's wish. How beautiful. Who can give a better pravachan of Naham Karta, Hari Karta than this person, than the farmer himself, who is ready to take it with poise. His work, I saw him work for several months. I saw him in the sun, I saw him toiling, all of it. And yet, after doing all this toiling, he is still willing to let go, recognizing this is a will which is higher than my will. I don't understand it. Yeah, but it's okay. This is how it works. So, this is something which is a very important aspect. This vested you are, Krishna says, this sloka. Vested you are with the authority to perform, but not seek your actions' fruits in any form. When by the fruits of actions you aren't motivated from discharging your duties, you never get deviated. You are not getting motivated by only your desires. Then what is going to happen? Then you are going to work, isn't it? Whether or not it's going to give you something in return. Lakshmi Narayanji from Atlanta, he had once shared his experience. He did a particular project as a HR manager. He got a file on his table. It was not really his forte. That particular project was not something he knew everything, and his company didn't have all of the requirements to fulfill that project. So he was just avoiding it. His boss also came and told, "It's okay if you don't do it." But suddenly he felt, because he loves Krishna, he surrenders everything to Krishna, that Krishna will not be happy. Let me at least try my best, irrespective of whether I get the result or not. So he started working. He started working even on Friday evenings. Also, he's sitting. He took some documents back home to work and do something. All his colleagues are saying, "What's the use? Why are you wasting your weekend? Saturday, Sunday is your right to enjoy. You're not supposed to do all of it. Spend time with family. Don't." And they even told, "Don't get us in trouble because of you. We will have more work." But he felt, if I don't do my duty towards the divine, he considered doing a corporate job also as a job offering towards the divine. And he says, if I don't do it to my best, I don't think my Krishna will be happy or satisfied. I need to do it. And that is how he outsourced the things that he did not have in his unit, in his company. And unbelievably, that particular project gave job to so many people afterwards when the company was going through a bad patch. And this person who was actually doing a work which was not really not in my job description. No, he was doing it because he has to do it. He felt it was a inner duty towards the divine. So that is how we must look at our works. Our works, in the sense, it can be anything, every action. Standing up for injustice meted out to your neighbor. We shouldn't be like, oh no, it's just my neighbor. It's not me. What's going to happen? What's going to happen there is going to come to you. You have to become conscious. And so, any action, it could be anything. We have something called homework in Krishna's children's batch, Karma Yoga homework. We tell children, do any one action without asking something in return and come and report the next day. So all children, I did my Karma Yoga homework. I am doing this. Everybody speaks like they're Karma Yogi. And one young Karma Yogi spoke. I gave my grandmother a glass of water and did not ask anything. That was his great Karma Yoga. We all laughed. All the teachers laughed. But Guruji Damri said, don't laugh. See, this boy has understood. He has understood a very important principle that I am doing this. This is action without expectation. He truly did it without expectation. That is important. It doesn't matter what type of work it is. And so this is a way Krishna says which will actually free you. No more are you driven only by favorable results. If you are driven by favorable results, you will try to make it manifest. No, one result only. But what if the divine wants another result? They call prarthana also, people have sakam prarthana. Instead, have your nishkam prarthana, prarthana without desires. As people keep praying, they go to the temple 100 times, 1,000 times, they keep praying, please, please, please give me a transfer, please give me a transfer, please give me a transfer. And so God gets so irritated, "Hey, Lelo, he gives a transfer. Then immediately on the second day of the new place, he goes, no, please take back this transfer, that place was better. Because mind of the human being is so limited. What is so important and desirable to you today may not at all be of any value to you after some years later, maybe sometimes moments later also. Sometimes life changes like that in a moment, and suddenly what is important to you ceases to remain. You also don't understand it. So if we are so we are so fluctuating, our desires are fluctuating, and everything is so dynamic, why are we holding on with such rigidity? It is not required. When I was in school, I had a desire of opening a restaurant. Simple reason is I'll get free food. That was so silly as a class 8. Now, if you imagine, I just held on to that desire and it was a sakam prarthana I kept on doing, it would have been useless. I would have then learned, ki, okay, right, it's not really free. If I own it, I'll have to pay these bills, everything, all of this. It will not fall. So, something like that, whether it's on the spiritual path or on anything else, it is best to do duties without expectation of results. And that allows us to get a freedom. We are free, no more are we bound by anybody. Krishna says if you realize it truly, even karma bandhana will not bind you. You will become free from karma bandhana. That is something which is definitely worth exploring as we probably go inner into the little deeper into the Gita. Because we'll just look at one more shloka, which is the 50th shloka of this adhyay. Krishna says, बुद्धिर्युक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते तस्मात् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम. This is what is yoga? Yoga karma so kaushalam is what Krishna says in the 50th sloka. With this knowledge, which knowledge? The knowledge of working without desires, understanding that seeking fruits, there's nothing. Krishna says actually in the previous sloka, seekers of fruits are only despicable. He says this is absolutely a waste approach if you're running after desires of actions. Everywhere you're trying to take something in return. Like some corrupt officials have, isn't it? My cut 15%, my cut 10%. Like that, we should not have every action that if I do this action, I will get something in return. Instead, become free. And when you are able to do this, Krishna says, your mind is also free. You're able to liberate yourself. With this knowledge, Krishna says, in this very world itself, from good and bad actions, one can free oneself. Knowing this, engage yourself in this karma yoga, detachment, yet excellence in works is only yoga. Krishna is saying even good actions sometimes bind us, just as bad actions also bind us. You do good to somebody and somebody gets attached to that goodness. I have to do this, I have to do this, then it becomes you have to is not something you should be bound. No, I want to do it and I can do it, but it should not be out of a compulsion from somewhere. A duty is duty, but then people get trapped into their own. Sometimes people create a social profile of themselves. And then they are so busy upholding that social profile that they are forgetting what is their true original inner aspects. They might be doing good works in that profile, but that profile is still just an image, no, of themselves and not the true one. So here they have got bound to their good actions. Bad actions, you do bad actions, you will get karma phala, isn't it? Sometime or the other, you somebody who is corrupt. How long can such a corrupt person survive and thrive? A point will come. The point will come. Shishupal also had enjoyed his time. Then the time of karma, the reckonings of the karma comes only. So when you are doing it in a state of freedom, you don't have to worry. In a state of detachment, I have taken a step. I have taken a decision. Now you are no more guilty. You are no more bound by good or bad. Nobody, no punyam, na papam, na saukhyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na veda, na yajna. What is it then? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. Shivoham is what is the Adi Shankaracharya's Nirvana Shatakam. Means punyam and papa is also this person has transcended that. Karma bandham prahasyasi, punya papam prahasyasi. Both. Both of this. What is punya? What is papa? When you realize there's only one punya, walking ahead on the path. What is the papa? Doing anything that is preventing you from walking ahead on the path. That is so simple. What are you going to study or what are you going to look for references to understand is this papa or is this punya? So this realization can come, Krishna says, when you are able to focus on your actions. Detachment yet excellence in works is only yoga. Krishna is saying yoga karma kaushalam. And that is how the great of the greatest yogis, Krishna says, they go into that highest shloka. We just look at two shlokas and we'll stop there. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinah janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantya. The most enlightened amongst men are thus aware of the fruits of actions they don't care. Liberated from bondages of birth, they stand, and in the highest conscious states, they land. So the enlightened ones are no more bound. They say, Ramta Jogi Behta Pani. Nobody can stop the flow of a yogi who has gone into that layer of connection with the divine. No more is that person worried. He's doing everything for the divine. Na aham karta, harihi karta. I am not the doer. This is not just an intellectual statement or a word done like a lip service. It is actually a realization. The person is not keeping personal preferences. Personal preferences may allow a person to not speak harsh to somebody the person likes. Personal preferences may allow a person to quickly, I don't want to talk this way or I want to talk this way bad to that person. I don't like it. But when a person has pushed everything aside, it is for divine. Divine wants me to rise, I will rise. Divine wants me to fall, I will fall. Both rising and falling is not something I want to interfere. I will just go with the divine will. I will not try to interfere in it. That is the realization of the yogi. He is free. She is free. And the enlightened ones are also free. The fruits of efforts, they don't care one bit. And that is why they experience the highest states of consciousness, is what Krishna is saying. How simple is that? Just, I think Upanishad also talks about this. Isha midam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena taktena bhunjita magradha kasya swedhanam. Don't steal somebody else's wealth because of your lust for property, lust for some object, lust for some understanding and all of that. You should not have lust for it. Let it come to you when you are ready. It comes naturally, is what the Upanishad says. And Upanishad says, same as what Krishna says here, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. There it says, Kurvanneveha Karmani, Jijivishechatam Sama, Evam Tvai Nanyat Hetosti, Na Karma Lipyate Nare. Meaning, such a person with this approach of Yoga Sukha, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam, or offering to the divine every action, if you are able to live a full lifespan, you have to seek to live a full 100 years of life in a human lifespan, which is 100 years. You have to try to live the full 100 years for the divine. Because when you live this way, you will not have these bandhanas of karma. Na karma lipyate nare. The person will not be touched by karma. Meaning all the bad plans will be going on against to bring a downfall of a particular individual. But that individual is connected with the divine, and so not a when somebody is throwing arrows, also they will fall as flowers to that person's feet only by the protection of the divine. That is the aegis of somebody who has surrendered to the divine. That person gets the kavach, that person gets the shield, doesn't have to worry about anything else. What punya, what papa, what bad nazar will fall on such a person? Who is there? They say, Jako rakhe saya mar sake na koe. Who is that who can try to do that? So with this, we stop. Krishna says, last, we'll just look at this shloka. Yada hi moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya. When the mind thus element becomes and desires web it overcomes, one becomes free, detached, and undisturbed towards all that was and all that will be heard. How beautiful it is. You are so calm that no news is bad news. News is just news that you are receiving. Your mind has become illumined, your understanding. Why did my dear one speak to me like this? I don't care why that person speak to me or did not speak to me. Whether or not that person has spoken, it is that person's prerogative. My aspect is I am not going to get disturbed by what is spoken. My peace cannot be disturbed by somebody else's actions. That is the state of an illumined mind. That person becomes free, detached, and undisturbed towards all that was heard and all that will be heard. Most of the time, we hear bad things that disturbs us, then we start worrying about, panicking about what more bad things are going to happen. What more bad things am I going to hear? I don't think we need to get disturbed. A friend of mine, she lost both parents in a day only. Father met with an accident. Mother heard the bad news of the accident and passed away with the just listening to it on the phone. How sad is that? We are not trying to say that could have been avoided or not. That is a different, it's a difficult experience for her. But somewhere, if detachment is there, you can also deal with difficult news, isn't it? Bad news also, you have to have a detachment. Otherwise, you are going to be trapped. And Krishna is talking something very important here. He says, your mind becomes so illumined that you are no more disturbed by anything. That means you are going to reach a state of what Krishna calls samadhi, free from all disturbances. This samadhi is something which Arjuna is going to wonder about because we all have heard of samadhis of great saints. So is Krishna giving me a chance to enter into samadhi so I don't have to take part in the battle? I don't know what Arjuna is thinking. So the next part would be what is this samadhi? But samadhi, we at least understand this much that it is this getting free from all those divisions, getting free from the dvandva, the inner and the outer, getting free from disturbances. Probably that is samadhi. We will look at what Krishna exactly has to say in the next session. The meaning of samadhi, probably. So with this, today's session is concluded. I request if anybody has anything to ask or share, you're welcome, or we just go to the summary by Chitraji. Yeah, right. I think if no questions are there, I request. Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, Chitraji.
Yeah, Hari Om. So we learned that a person who is not enslaved by the mind can truly become free, and hence such a person can walk or attain um realization. And when he is no longer driven by the desires and he has reached a state of detachment, uh, a non-dual state is achieved, where he realizes that he is one with the divine and also sees divinity in all. And he is and understands that there is no Bheda between him and the divine, nor in others and the divine. And someone who has got this realization understands that even the Vedas also reaffirm the same. And as the soul transcends, the coating of rigidity, the sanskaras, and all other bearings slowly fade, and the realization comes. And Krishna emphasizes that actions have to be carried out with pure intentions and absolutely no expectations towards on the rewards for the actions performed. So, when you're no longer motivated by the fruits of your actions, every action is performed with uh, full focus and attention, it becomes a divine action. And this can free a person and allow him to work in a detached mode, and hence freeing him from the bandhanas. And this is also applicable for good actions too. Like some people carry out actions of charity with expectations of something in return when some difficult moments come in their lives. So this was also creating some kind of a binding for an action that was performed. And so hence engaging in actions or performing the karma yoga can free one and attain the perfection in the actions performed. So the realized ones who know about this are liberated and they are in the highest state of consciousness. So this is something that we saw today.
All righty. Thank you very much, Chitraji. Namaste. So if there are no queries, we conclude with the Shanti mantra. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्ण वन्दे जगद्गुरु पुनर्मिलामः looking forward to seeing you again on Friday नमस्ते जी
हरि ओम
हरि ओम
नमस्ते हरि
नमस्ते
ओम
नमस्ते जी हरि ओम
हरि ओम
हरि ओम नमस्ते
Hari Om.
हरि ओम हरि ओम
So, Shruti,
yes जी yes जी
say, I just wanted to say that I'm not sure whether I'll be able to join on Friday or not because I'm
okay
away. If I get a
okay
chance, obviously I definitely will. But if
all
not, I
right जी
look forward to
fine
receiving the.
yes जी recording yeah
Yeah, that's
sure
the word.
जी yes
Thank
जी
you.
I'll send
Shubh
namaste
Ratri.
thank you Shubh Ratri जी I think Sadinam for you no it's a day right now yes
Yeah, it's tea time, 4:45
okay.
almost.
The next Friday, we are
Thank
going to
you.
be looking at what is day for one side of people is actually night for the others. Krishna says.
I
So,
know.
is he talking about
Sometimes,
time zones or is he talking
yeah.
about spiritual and non-spiritual approaches? We don't know.
I know it's a difficult one, isn't it? But you must be
Yeah.
very tired because you've been working the whole
No,
day
no,
and
that's
then
fine. This is an enjoyment for
sleeping.
me. Yes. All right.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Namaste. Hari. Namaste.